I want to say thank you to all of my Patreon supporters who help support the channel. Also, I want to say thank you to my Twitch subscribers. Help the channel out by donating or go to patreon.com. Thank you. A lot of red pill motherfuckers. I should stop cussing so much. A lot of red pill ignorant fools actually think that liking certain shit, like liking food or liking porn or liking the actual company of women is just a bad thing, and to have some sort of, what they call pleasure in life is bad and degenerate. And a lot of the red pill guys, a lot of the red pill ideology, a lot of these, thought influencers, a lot of these man help guides, they want to keep you angry. They want to say anything that bears some sort of momentary pleasure or release of stress is degenerate, it's bad, and it keeps you unfocused away from your real goal of being different, being a leader, by following a particular plan and particular set goals and set beliefs that fall into the peer pressure of old people, or falling for peer pressure from dead old people. And quite frankly, porn is one of those things. Now, as a consumer of porn, as a consumer of tantalizing art, as a creator of tantalizing art, I can understand where people actually get this whole thing of addiction to like sex is bad. But you can get addicted to a lot of things, including videos that spur your hatred and make you feel good about hating shit. But that's here nor there. I want to respond to this video right here that we have where it says neurological science. This can turn into an addiction if you don't stop. Welcome to the human race, dog. Everything, if you don't do it in moderation, can turn it. Okay, let's go.
With no judgment whatsoever, right? I'm not here to, it's not a moral thing. I'm just talking about what I do is I look at things through the lens of biology, and in particular through neuroscience, but some other fields as well. We have to take a step back and
I think there's a little bit of judgment. But all right, let's go.
Now, knowing what we know about testosterone and dopamine and all these things, and ask, what is pornography doing to the brain? Well, first of all, it's triggering the release of dopamine and in the short term testosterone by the observation of sex, not actually engaging in human contact. Think about the young brain being significantly more plastic and willing to rewire than the adult brain. Absolutely, there's no question about it. It's hyperplastic.
So here's what kind of fucks me up about this. Yes, we should do a lot more to try to limit porn. Oh God, I'm starting to sound like Trevor. We should do a lot more to limit porn consumption from like kids. But when I was 14, way back in 1996, if I wanted to see a titty, I can see a titty. Porn has been with us ever since God damn, I could say we invented photography. Before we invented photography, we have ancient art and statues depicting porn. Getting rid of porn is like saying we're going to get rid of chemically inducing things to make us high. It is something that we as motherfucking evolved ass primates, and I know evolved as primates makes no sense because all primates are evolved, but higher order of thinking evolved primates have been doing since ever. yeah, Joe said it right. There were people that were snatching it to Sears catalogs. And I'm sorry. I saw Landon's clothes and they weren't that fucking sexy. I'm just saying. And yes, the argument can be said for religion. I know. Actually, we can probably say religion is worse because, it's pretty hard to wield a two-handed sword when you're holding your one-handed sword by the hilt. Anyway, let's go. No, I know it was the underwear and bikinis, but still, I'm still old enough to remember Landon's clothing.
Person is getting dopamine and testosterone increases by observing sex and not actually by engaging in human contact. Okay, so that's concerning, right? It should come as no surprise that a lot of these people have trouble with romantic interactions when they do happen, right? Because their brain isn't conditioned to respond to those, right? Also, dopamine seeking is what triggers the increase in testosterone. But as we just talked about it with
wait. A lot of these people have issues because the isolation we feel with capitalism and the socialization that we have, where it's just hard to socialize, especially in an increasingly digital world where, let's face it, and this is one of the things that I can agree with some people who say the application of technology is bad. Not that technology is bad, but the application of technology is bad because, one, we're working ourselves to death. We are spending more time with screens, and we don't have those social places as we used to, especially after 2 years of a fucking pandemic that's become, from, instead of being a pandemic, it becomes endemic, but it's still causing massive amount of loss and sickness. So it's not just that, porn bad. We've had porn since the invention of art. That's one of the main subjects that people have created as art subjects. So it's not porn. It's something else. The fact that we're working and our communities have actually deteriorated, and no, not in the fathers are not in the home, but in the sense, our sense of community is on life support. But you just want to say, it's porn. You want to give an easy motherfucking answer. It's not just easy answers. It's the way we structure our society. But let's continue.
Repeated dopamine seeking or triggering of dopamine release, it starts getting diminished. So pretty soon that behavior is not causing the release of testosterone. Now people are just doing it compulsively to try and get some little droplet of dopamine out of their brain. I personally...
You know what causes dopamine increases too? Fucking human touch. Like, I'm not gonna lie and not say that me spending time with my friend hasn't caused me not to miss streams, but human touch does. Or even gaming with someone. This chase of dopamine doesn't just happen with porn. It doesn't just happen with... It happens with eating a good meal. It happens with working out. God damn, you can get a dopamine rush from doing a good workout. So why just blame it on porn? All right, let's go.
I think that porn and the availability of porn is a real detriment to the developing brain, especially to the developing brain.
Yeah.
Now, it sounds like you rescued the behavior.
What? This, it sounds oh my God. This sounds really scientific and really deep and really thoughtful. But this is just a guy talking on a podcast. I have not seen one source, one iota of a source. It's just hey, my friend, you know what? This sounds really, really deep, but can I get a source?
My source is that I made it the fuck up.
But no, like let's see if Andrew Humberg is an American neurological scientist and associate professor in the Department of Neurobiology and at the Stanford University School of Medicine, who has made many contributions to the brain development. Where is the source? It's not. It's just somebody fucking, pontificating online. I know. Just, boulders in like very clear glass house. But it's no source. They basically just ripped this shit from a podcast. All right, let's go.
And it takes some discipline, right? I imagine. And it's one of those things that it's also anxiety-less compared to dating and relationships where people are vulnerable on both sides and have to negotiate things like, consent and timing and, and communication and all the things that are really hard to do, but are essential to do. That's key. So I think pornography is a serious issue. There's also a whole aspect of pornography, which is that if people are pursuing pornography and they're not pursuing relationships, there is the potential that they reach their 20s and 30s and they are truly dysfunctional in terms of, look, every species has two major goals: protect the young and make more of itself. And you think about what porn.
You know what? It's kind of like weird that neurological scientists would actually say that. No, and I get that we have a biological desire, but humans broke evolution. That's our evolutionary superpower. We broke evolution. Our bodies were evolved to be on the plains of a savanna, but we broke evolution. Yes, and we're still affected by some evolution, but generally speaking, humans broke evolution. Okay. But he's a scientist. And he said that neurologically speaking, we are like humans broke evolution. And again, man, where is your source?
Porn and masturbation, these things really are. I'm not calling them sinful. What I'm saying is
no scientist would use the term sinful. Oh my God, this is the thing. This is so incredibly biased to he sounds like a Proud Boy. Exactly. This is incredibly biased. Why would you use that? Just by his dialect alone, it would be, I'm not saying it's detrimental, I'm not saying it's not helpful. Use those terms. This is dripping with intent. This is dripping with the narrative. And the fact is, if you're a neurological scientist, you would actually understand the health benefits of masturbation. Now, what a lot of neuroscientists actually say is that it should not be just porn. A lot of neurological and sexualists or whatever the fuck, psychological or people that deals with the psychology of sex say you should actually learn how to masturbate without looking at porn. But we have Mr. Scientist that says it's a sin. Sure. Let's go.
Are potentially addictive, especially with the availability of pornography.
It would be different maybe using your imagination versus seeing images, or like, is there a difference if you know any of this, is there a difference between video versus, old school way of like having magazines and things like that?
Well, it's
because it's like more fantasy and maybe, I don't know, maybe you thinking.
See? This is a podcast. This is not some grand, great, known wizard of intellectual Darwinism. This is a podcast. But
Thinking
let's
it
go.
through about this thing is different than you just watching.
Or even
Yeah.
remembering past experiences.
Yeah, so we can speculate there a bit. A picture is worth 1,000 words and a movie is worth 1 billion pictures. I think it's fair to say that whatever problems exist in society today almost certainly existed 100 years ago, but in a different form. Okay. We always think, stress was only there for the saber-toothed tiger, and now there are no tigers, and we got this thing that's really unfortunate called stress. Look, let's imagine this was 100 years ago. Spouses still cheated, people still died, you had, physical challenges, there was a question of how, all that stuff is big.
There's a question of what? See, and this is what I'm talking about. This is just stupid pseudoscience. That's all this is. This is stupid pseudoscience of someone actually putting out their opinion and trying to cloud into science.
Baked into us at a deep level, right? None of those circuits have changed. It's just the circumstances that trigger them change. So I think that 100 years ago, it wasn't cell phones, but you can bet that there were forms of pornography. I think that
Really?
what's healthy in this domain has never really been defined. This is one of the challenges. We know what an eating disorder is, but what's healthy eating, right? Where do you draw the line? I think given this general theme that relationships are healthy, friendships are healthy, romantic relationships are healthy, and anything that inhibits the pursuit and functioning of healthy relationships is where you have to start saying, wait a second, is this behavior getting in the way?
Are you gonna talk about capitalism and individualism? Are you gonna talk about that? No, it's porn because you have because reasons. And you know what? It's fun fact, Joe. My favorite part of the Bible is not there. It's Ezekiel 23, 25, I believe. And she lusted after her lovers, who had them size of a horse, and the emissions of those of a donkey. Okay, let's go.
So we just have to be careful anytime we are overwhelmed with powerful images of increasing intensity. That's where you start getting into the dopamine depletion. That's where you start getting into the hormone depletion.
So it's just about porn.
Talking about here. So this is also true of violence. A lot of people, they're like excited about watching zombie apocalypse violence, plus all of that violent sex and everything getting poured into the same film. Well, they made horror movies, 50 years ago. They were a little bit different. The question is, how strong were we driving the system? And if anyone out there is feeling underwhelmed and kind of like life is no good, etc., chances are your dopamine system has been pushed too hard. I'll give you one quick anecdote of a friend. He's got a kid.
Wait. Newsflash. Maybe life is hard. I know, fucking weird, right? I mean, like, when you can't afford a 2-bedroom home in 90% of the counties across the USA. Oh no, it's just your perspective how your dopamine levels to been destroyed. It's not that we haven't kept wages with inflations. It's not that. Oh, I'm sorry, one bedroom. Oh, you're right, Joe. 1 bedroom. You can't have a 1-bedroom apartment on the minimum wage across the country in 90% of the counties. Like, what? No, it's just your attitude. It's just your attitude. Because it's your fault. No. It's your fault. You looked at the dirty magazines, and looking at dirty magazines has made it where your financial situation doesn't add up. Like, they were just complaining the prevalence of free online porn, but your mental attitude and your dopamine receptors are burnt out. That's why you can't afford things. Reasons? What? We only got a little bit left.
He's 21. He graduated high school. He went to community college for a little bit, decided not to do that anymore. Then he stopped working, stopped exercising. He's really fit. He's got his genetics are like Nasima's. He's kind of he's just got this incredible physique and all. Doesn't do anything. Doesn't work, doesn't do anything. He's a failure to launch, as we call him. And
so he went to high school. He did some community college. He doesn't work. Do you think there may be a problem going on that is not just your fucking antidote? Maybe the job market is shit. Maybe. Maybe he feels isolated and alone. That's not because he's touching himself. Okay, let's go.
They were analyzing, does he have ADHD? Does he this? And he heard Anna talk about dopamine depletion. And he called me and he said, I'm going to do 1 month, no video games, no phone, no nothing. He's 25 days in and he's running again. He's lifting again. He's heading back to work again. And this was somebody who thought he had ADHD. Now there are people with ADHD out there, but
it sounds as if he had depression, dog. Oh my God. Like,
Done.
I can't. It sounds like he had depression. How are you, as a neurological scientist, not recognizing the symptoms of depression? This is why this faux sense of expertise that a lot of these red pill guys do and listen to and actually say, it's stupid. And the reason why it's stupid is because it never solves anything. It never addresses the problem. It just says, you need to fix you. And if you're unhappy about something, then it's your fault. Yes, we all have personal choices that we can actually address and make. But it is clear that this motherfucker is not an expert on. If he's an expert on neuropsychology, he's definitely never talked to a fucking patient. He's a fucking bookworm nerd. But anyway, guys, like, share, and subscribe. Thank you for watching it so far. You can find me on several different channels here, from Twitch, YouTube, on Spotify, and all the associated podcasts. Crimson 60620. Thank you for watching, and we're gonna cut this video segment here.
If I gave myself the power